just want to quickly document my journey so far, in which we've gone from zero to $52,250 last month cash collected in 5 months. We started at zero 5 months ago. And just because people, like to say everything's fake nowadays, if you can see the numbers there, you should see that on fan basis after payment processor, which isn't a flex, by the way. Honestly, I feel very far behind, and I honestly believe I could be a lot further ahead, in which some of these lessons I'm just going to touch base on right now. And the biggest mistake I made when I kind of started this journey around 18 months ago, 19 months ago now, was just thinking that I needed to change the world. I'd have the greatest idea, the flashiest, shiniest idea, and I wasted a lot of time. And honestly, you do not need to change the world right now. Like, do it once you have more resources, more knowledge, and more capital behind you. It's very simple. And for me, that was one of the biggest things I fucked up on. In my personal opinion, I think the two things anyone looking to get into it should be doing is A, acquisition, B, AI. Put the two together for acquisition systems, you're going to be completely fine and you're going to make a lot of money. It's very simple. Now, touching base and not needing to change the world and wasting time, this goes on to people. Now, trusting the wrong people. And I'll be honest, I was a little naive back in the day. And now I very much so do not trust many people. Very few, actually. For me, you have to prove to me why you're not going to fuck me over. And then I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But until then, it's not for me. And that goes in, not just business, but personal life too. We could get down the whole rabbit hole of that, but maybe we can leave that for, another time of me talking. But I've just kind of wasted a lot of time really just leaving a lot more of what people say rather than what they've showed me, and for me personally, I don't care what you done 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't care what you achieved back then. Like, what can you offer now? It's very simple. People love to talk about what they're gonna do, what they can do, what they have done, but when they're talking about right now, what they can do, it's nothing. And I wasted a lot of time on that, and it's a big thing is just not letting other people have all the cards, because then you lose power. At the end of the day, power is honestly is everything, to be honest. You need to be able to not be controlled, not be manipulated. And that goes a big thing into, managing your emotions and also your energy. Now, energy, who you put your time towards, where you put your time towards, very simple. And emotions, as a man, especially if you're making emotional decisions, you're going to make rash decisions and it's not the best choice. So for me, don't necessarily show your emotions and don't act upon them as it's a one-way trip down a shit show, let's just say. If people know what's going to get a reaction out of you, then, well, you can be, manipulated. People can take advantage of you. And that's just one big thing. So for me as well, I talked about not wasting your time around the wrong people, but just surround yourself around the right people. It's honestly it's hard to do at the start because you need to have something to offer at the end of the day. Like, that is quite a big thing. You're not just going to be able to hang around with millionaires or billionaires, although I did hang around with a billionaire when I didn't have much to offer, which, there's going to be rare circumstances like that, which was an incredible time after the school games back in the end of 2024. But for me right now, the biggest changes I'm making, and that goes around the energy and the people you surround yourself with, which I'm blessed to have a couple of great people around me, is aggressive action, moving quick and just seeing other people around me when they're able to kind of pretty much just warp time, where their goals that people think is 12 months away, but hell, they're getting shit done in 3 months. A to-do list that you think might take a month, hell, they're getting it done in 3 days. And that's the biggest thing of when you can see other people around you and they're not better than you, they're not smarter than you, but they just move quicker. And that's the world of difference in terms of getting the results that you're after. And as well as that is just constantly reinvesting back into yourself, whether it's health, whether it's fitness, or into network groups, into mentors. Like, I always believe you should have a mentor, and I'm someone that's invested myself. I've invested myself a lot in a lot of shit programs, but also some very good ones. And at the end of the day, in 2026, you're probably going to end up wasting some money, but hell, it's all a learning game. And at the end of the day, a lot of people just have the victim mindset, and because of that, they never make it. Where you can still get a good outcome out of a shit situation. It's just how you deal with the cards that you've been dealt. So for me, there's always something that you can expand on your knowledge. And be very careful. At the end of the day, when you're picking a mentor, like you have to understand what is the goal, like what are you wanting from a certain mentor, because it's a very broad term. Is it marketing, is it sales, are you getting a fitness coach? Like, for example, I think many people probably watching this video, they probably watched the Hermosi and Tony Robbins podcast. If you want to get business advice, you're going to go to Hermosi. You want family or personal life, advice and mentorship, I guess, you ain't going to call Hermosi. You need to be very particular about what you're looking for, and from there, make the right decision, invest the money, and don't look back twice. And the same goes for hiring people. That's like one big thing I've seen, and touching base on the actual business side for me right now is I've hired a lot recently, just trying to free up as much of my time as possible, as my time is constantly getting more and more valuable. And I just need to be able to make the bigger decisions and do what's actually going to move the fucking business forward. And that's how you get to your goals a lot quicker. What you can't automate, then you delegate. It's very, very simple. And, hiring, don't be scared to hire. Don't be scared to spend the money. Sometimes, your margins might have to come down a little bit so that you can get to the next level. It's very simple. And the biggest mistake I see people make, and for me, I'm glad I've not done it, is the flashy lifestyle. People make the first $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, and all of a sudden they're traveling the world. They're just buying shit they don't need. And then before they know it, they've had a month of ads. Ads have gone a bit shit. Now they're stumped for cash. And I'm like, people are just so just stupid, and just fucking stupid, to the point where they just get that first taste of money and they're just blowing it and squandering it, and then their business just tanks, and then they're starting from ground up again. Like, the reason business is so hard at the start is because A, you don't know what you're doing, but B, you don't have the cash to reinvest. Because if you started with, rather than £500, I guess I should say, not dollars, or having 10 grand, 20 grand, it's a lot easier to get where you want with 10, 20 grand. And if you can just keep that money in the business and constantly reinvest, you're going to get to where you want like 10 times faster. So just don't make that mistake. Like, the flashy shit's not going anywhere. I can buy it. I'll buy it, whatever, end of the year. I don't know. But for me, there's no point in it. Like, until I don't even have to like think about the money missing, I don't care. Like, I've been traveling around the last 9 months. I've been LA, Vegas, Colombia, went out back to Florida. And hell, like right now I'm back in the home where I grew up. I don't care. I don't know where I'm going to go next. That's kind of the other issue, is when you can go anywhere in the world, it kind of leads to a bit of analysis paralysis. So still trying to work out where I want to go next. But it's like, I don't care. I don't need the flashy shit. It does nothing for me. I just want to get my business to where I want to go. And for me, that's the Q2 goals, is I want to double it. Worst case, I want to get to $100,000 per month by the end of this quarter. And I think it's very much possible. I think for me right now, what's working is fulfillment's great. The ads are great. Almost everything is perfect. But the sales team, that's been the biggest bottleneck right now. And we're in the process of fixing it. We fired a couple people, hired, and we're just revamping the entire process. Now, once that bottleneck gets solved, hell, like, our clients don't leave us. And we've pivoted industries mainly so we can have the higher ticket, higher margin clients, to the point where we can charge more. Because what I will do for the clients are even high 6 figures to low 7 figures or above a year. Performance, small setup, 4 grand, 5 grand, and performance, because I want them to spend more, and I know we deliver, and then in return we make a shit ton more. So the goal is to have all clients, paying 5 to 10 grand a month, so I can hit the goal with 10, 20, whatever clients, rather than 50 clients. And that's how you're going to be able to grow a business a lot easier, because A, higher to get clients, you can actually invest into them more to get them a better result. And B, the fucking operational complexity. It's a lot easier to manage 10 clients than 50, while you're still making the same fucking amount of money. It's very, very simple. And for me right now is just identifying and removing myself from the business at the lower levels, which I should have done a lot earlier. I've always been kind of just constantly chasing my tail, and I'm now just getting out in front of it, which I am blessed. And from there now, it's just the decision making. When I see a big bottleneck, now it's just fully getting into it, which right now is almost just all front end. That's all it is. So between acquisition, between sales, everything in business is psychology. If you want to learn how to be successful in business, read psychology, because it is all just manipulation at the end of the day. Even if you're doing client ads or your own ads or you're selling, it doesn't matter. You are getting someone to take a certain action because you wanted them to. With the ad, you have to get them to, click on it. You have to get them to stop. You have to get them to click on it, click on the landing page. From the landing page, you got to get them to, convert, fill the application out. Then you got to get them to book a call. On the sales side, hell, you got to get them to make the uncomfortable decision to take the next step. It's scary at the time to then join, and work with you. And the one thing I'm very glad to have is sales reps who are very confident in what we do because they've seen the results. What we'll do every time we close a client, hell, we'll show them results in the next, 4 weeks. We'll relate to them. So our sales reps can be genuinely 100% convinced in what we do, that like the person they have the next call with, they know it is in their best interest to move forward with us, because if they don't, well, they're going to be a lot worse off. But yeah, that's pretty much overall like the kind of biggest lessons I've learned in the last 18 months, and then taking this company to 52 grand a month from zero in quite literally, 150 days. So Q2 should be a lot of fun. No idea where I'm going to go next. Don't know what my plans are, but we will find out maybe shortly. I haven't decided yet. And this was just more touch and base, not just the business specifically, but everything I've learned in the last 18 months. And hell, I've realized how awful I am talking to a camera. But until next time, always a pleasure. And yeah, let's see what we can fucking cook up.